Well, it's New Year's Eve, and I wanted to share something that can be used at any time of the year, but especially at the end of a year as we start to prepare for the rolling out of the new. And this is a beautiful and fun exercise to do for all ages. So what you want to do first is make a little fire. Not all of us have fireplaces. If you do, that's excellent. If you don't, it's also excellent. Most of us have a candle. And even if we don't have a candle, we can use even the little light. Yes, it doesn't matter. It's not important the things we have. It's just important what the intention is. So that is, we're asking for more light to be brought into our lives. And we also want to extinguish things, let go of things that don't work for us, so that we can be our very best selves. So first thing we want to do is, like I say, find a light, find a candle, make a fire. And then you just get a piece of tablet paper, several, and make slips of paper. Maybe they're an inch or two high and across, just like an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper would be. That too doesn't matter, just so long as you have the freedom to write without restriction or constriction. And what we're going to write about is think about things that you'd like to get rid of from this past year specifically. Whatever those things may be. And give this some time to really think about. But also, don't edit. Whatever comes to mind. It doesn't matter. No one else sees this but you. So write out what it is you'd like to get rid of. What you're ready to say goodbye to from this past year in particular. Whatever hurts, whatever upsets, disappointments, hardships, challenges, sadness, pain, whatever they may be. What is it? What are they? Those things that you'd like to release. And take each strip of paper, you just rip it from the bottom on up as you write down each item, each thought that you'd like to get rid of, each idea. And then as you do that, you're going to collect them in a nice bowl, something that brings you a lift or a joy when you see it. Whatever it might be, whatever you have handy. This is about having fun and making this easy and a pleasure. No hardship. There's been enough of that. And with each piece of paper that we have written some message down on, some word, some event, some moment, some relationship, whatever it is. You don't want to go into too much detail, just a quick, you already know what those thoughts are. This is just an intentional, bringing something into the an intention into the moment of reality, the moment of the now is what we're doing. So once you've made those strips of paper with whatever it is you want to release, you just scrunch them up and put them into this bowl or box, whatever you'd like to do. Just toss them in there. So since no one has to see this but you, don't restrict yourself in any way. Whatever, as small as it may be, as much of a wild card as it may be, or as large as it may be, write it down. And then once you've written those on those slips of paper, you want to make an event of this, a little ritual event of this, by, in a very safe place, can you find a place to burn those pieces of paper very safely? Adults only for the burning. Kids can make their list, but adults only for the burning. So if we make a little safe, fireproof place, dish, fire pit, you could even take turns and toss them in. Toss them in. And with each toss, just see those hardships, the heaviness, being lit to flame, being given the light so that it can move, so that it can shift, so that our lives can be lightened. With just this exercise, our intentions matter. So make these intentions count and use your imagination to see that with each toss of those papers goes a lightening of our life, goes a release of something that was heavy and dragged us down. And though the situation still may seem the same, because we can only change the things we can change, our attitude around it, our feelings around it, will definitely shift. Definitely shift when we shift our intention, when we shift our thinking around that. And just release. And even if there's a heaviness that is unrecognizable or unnameable, let's say unnameable, you recognize it because you feel it, but it's unnameable. Give that a piece of paper too, for all the heaviness that I may carry. Unnamed, I am releasing this. I am sending this off. I am sending this up. I am giving more lightness to my life. I am bringing more joy in as I release the heavy. And then once you've done that, and do it with awareness and consciousness. Once you've given that some time, then take a few minutes to just be still. Close your eyes. Take some deep breaths. Say thank you. And after you've written up those thoughts about 2020, make a list once again on that piece of paper as you allow for enough space so you can tear off each one individually as easily as possible. Make a list of the things that you've carried in your life that are burdens, not just this past year, but for all the years. All the things that we have held on to, somehow believing that they're ours. We want to release those, the heavy burdens. I release this sense of responsibility about this. I release my worry about that. release my upset that things didn't go the way I thought they should. I release the upset I have with this person. I'm releasing the upset. We release the upset. We're not releasing the event. We're releasing the heavy feelings around the events. It doesn't erase that they had occurred. Release the heavy feelings around the events of our lives. And you can just make that a general statement. We don't have to name each and everything and rehash the trash. I love the idea that you don't have to examine the trash before we take it to the curb or before we send it to the fire. We don't have to examine it all. You know, sometimes we get caught up in that examination and that reminding ourselves, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is why I feel this way. It's so old. It ages us. It declines our energy. Or decreases even. But it does decline us. It does decline us too. We can be reclined by it as well and flattened out by it. Don't allow it. These are just thoughts around things that have occurred. And as serious and as hard and as heavy as they may feel, we can ask for them to be lightened. Ask for our thoughts around these things to be lifted. For all those bags of trash, for all those bags and burdens, responsibilities, cloaks of responsibilities, wishes unfulfilled, dreams not realized yet, or maybe they won't be realized. But lightening up the idea, lightening up the thinking around them, asking for ease, asking for more acceptance. It doesn't mean to take things that are unfair. It doesn't mean to be a dish rag for anyone or a doormat for anyone. Not at all. Do what we need to do. Take the actions we need to take. And then when things don't go the way we think they should, we need to be able to lighten up around it. Truly lighten up with our thoughts. Yes, this is the way it is. And I've done everything I could possibly do that I could think of to this point to improve it. And it hasn't shifted or moved. At least from my perspective, it hasn't shifted or moved. We really don't know that for sure. But from my perspective, as limited as it is, we can invite a shift in our perspective, adjust our seeing so that we can make room for possibilities of a different kind of response, a different kind of seeing another person with eyes and heart that are softer. Ask for that. Ask for that. So throw those burdens of all the past into that flame, metaphorically or really burn them up. And sometimes we hold on to the thoughts of the past and events with a hurtful feeling, a heaviness of the heart and mind. But let's take a look at, it's so easy to look outside ourselves and find flaws in everyone else. What are our character flaws? Where would we like to see improvement? And once again, make a list on slips of paper. What are the things I'd like to release in my life that I can improve? I can be a different person. It takes work, yes, but make it joyful work. Why not? What else are we here for but to be the best people we can possibly be? What else? It's not for gaining and attaining all the worldly possessions that we think are going to bring us happiness. What qualities, what what characteristics do we want to develop in our own life? Do we want to be less angry? Do we want to be more patient, more understanding, more kind? What good qualities do we admire in others? Because when we admire in someone else, it starts nurturing a desire in ourselves. And even use an example of someone who's a challenge in your life. What good quality, just one, what good quality do they have? We can list all the ones we see as negative, all the ones that get us upset. Can we find one quality in another person that we have issues with? And let that take root in our thinking around that person. So whatever we focus on, it's our choice what we focus on. So we can constantly keep focusing on the wrong and the unfair and wring ourselves dry with upset, being disillusioned, or we can start asking to be able to see things differently. Not even know what that is, but I ask for my perspective to shift. And who are we asking? Whatever name you give, all that brings us breath, whatever that name is, or nameless, but that which creates nature, that which has given us life. So what other good qualities would you like to further in yourself? What are they? We think a lot about the goals, what we want to reach, what we want to get. You know, whether it's a better relationship or a new this or a new that, or a further degree or a new car, or more children, or no children, or no matter what it is. We spend a lot of time, even unconsciously, thinking about those things. But do we think much about the qualities that we have and the characteristics that we think are us? But we can make claim to other qualities. Make claim to those. When you see someone being kind or patient, wow, admire that. Just quietly admire that. And in that admiration, a seed is planted. A seed is planted and will ripen, given a little bit of attention. I want to be more like that. Help me to be more like that. And with these desires, with these improvements to our own qualities, our own personness, personhood, These also can be, instead of being put on slips of paper that are tossed, I may have mentioned this, could have mentioned this before we started, but it's okay, it's not too late. You can transfer the most important of those onto pretty pieces of paper, on pleasant things to look at, because there is something we don't want to burn, we don't want to get rid of. We do want to hold on to those intentions, because that is what they are. So make them enjoyable to see. Find colorful pieces of paper. Use colorful pens or pencils. And make them enjoyable to look at. Because what we're going to do with those qualities we'd like to develop in ourselves, we're going to put them in a bowl. Fold those pieces of little paper or not in a little bowl. And keep them either like by our bedstand, keep them by the coffee pot, teapot, toy box. And every day or every night or once a week, pull one of those out and see what character improvement you're looking at. How can I be a better sister? How can I be a better brother? How can I take care of my pet better? I want to be more playful with my friends. I want to be more considerate with other people. I want to reach out and connect, especially when I feel isolated. And with all that's going on with COVID, isolation is a huge thing. So if there are moments and times or weeks or months where that is true for us, the antidote is to reach out to others. You not only heal you help heal others. So use all those ideas, put them on pretty pieces of paper, something fun to look at, something that you're going to enjoy. This is about bringing life, liveliness, and enjoyment. More of that into our lives. It's been a rough year for so many. All of us getting affected in different ways. So let's bring more life, more loving, more light into this next year, into every year that follows, with every day that we are given. And to see each day given as just that. Not to take it for granted. Not to think that there are going to be many more. We don't know. We don't know how many days or moments we have, do we? They're precious. Make them count. Don't just look for distractions away from how we feel. Have fun with intentions of how to improve, how to make moments more meaningful. Well, I've hoped this has brought some fun, something enjoyable, something to do, whether alone or with another or with family. And you know, we can do this on a regular basis too. We can cut this short and do it like, hey, let's do this once a month. Let's just review. I want it to be more of this. Wow. And here are some examples. This is where I have been more of that. Wow. I really caught myself instead of getting angry or feeling angry, which it's okay to feel angry. It's just how we act on that feeling is what we want to be careful with. And how have we made small steps towards reaching those intentions, internal intentions. We focus a lot on what we want on the outside. What do we want on the inside? What do we truly want on the inside? What truly matters? And make more of that a habit. You know? Make more of that a habit. So enjoy. Happy New Year. Happy every year. Happy every moment. Be well. Till next time.